Hello, my beautiful friends. Today we're going to be talking about how I ran a marathon without training, and just a little bit of like motivation for just moving towards our goals or improving our lives, getting better as humans, as individuals. But first, if you're watching this, like the video version of this podcast, I want to explain why I'm sitting in this like bent over stretch wearing a beanie and just like the randomest background is because I ran a half a marathon this morning, and that's actually why I ended up wanting to make this podcast, because of how much easier it was to run this half marathon now that I've run a full marathon. And that's kind of the whole message behind this podcast, is that when we do something that we fear, something that we're really scared of, something that we think that we can't do, then everything else in life becomes easier. I haven't had my breakfast yet. I was like on the run. I was like, I need to make a podcast because I didn't make a podcast last week. And I can explain the reason that I haven't is because I have set myself a bit of a challenge for December. Every single day in December, I'm doing like a little vlog situation, but in every single vlog, I'm going to be doing something that I've never done before. So I am trying to prep the best that I can for all of these 30 videos. It's going to be like 60-second videos, so it's not like a full-on YouTube vlog. That would just be painful for me to, not painful, that would be very much of a challenge. And I thought that if I did it this way, then I could post both on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So kind of like 3 birds with one smack. That's not how the saying goes, but you know what I mean. And so currently I've been shooting some of these days, and I'm obviously trying to make every single video funny and valuable, and it's a challenge for me, but it's so fun. So I've been really focused on that, as well as last week I shot 4 long form videos. So just getting all of that together has been my main focus, and that's why I haven't been making podcasts, but I'm thinking about you guys, and I still love podcasting, and I want to be consistent with it. But sometimes in life, we cannot do everything, right? We can't do everything at once, and we just got to be really kind to ourselves when we have certain areas of life, of our goals, that need more intentionality, more time to really move along and get that part of our life done. So that is why I haven't podcasted, but I'm here now. And day 2 actually of this challenge was running a marathon without training. And I just quickly want to give some backstory on my running experience, which is like, I do these morning sprints, not every morning, but I do them when I know that I need a challenge. They're 10 minutes long. That's what I do, and I don't even know how long I run, but obviously you can't run very far in 10 minutes. At least I can't, because I'm not like the fastest runner out there. And I do that, and then maybe every second month I have been running like a 10K or something when I'm just like, I want to free my mind. I want to just like, I feel like running, sometimes you get like a lot of creative ideas. It's like things come to you that it just frees up space in your mind, especially if you run in nature. For me, that's like really healing. So every second month I've been doing that this year-ish. And what else? Yeah, a while back I did do like the morning sprints every morning, and once in my life I ran half a marathon. I don't know if I did it twice, but I've definitely run a half marathon before, and that's like a few years ago. It's been a long time ago. And I've always had this like wanting to know, wait, could I run a marathon? And then I knew I could, but like I was thinking of how usually you have to like prepare yourself for 3 months to go into this race and sign up and maybe travel to get there, and like all of this like anxious, nervous energy of like, how's it gonna go? How's my time gonna go? Can I do it? And so because of that, because I didn't want to, like, I guess I didn't want to spend 3 months training and following a certain running program, because I like to just like stick to my like actual like gym workout sessions and progress within that, as well as just like dance sometimes. And I knew that it would take away from a lot of the things that I'm doing. If you feel me moving, it's because I'm going into a different stretch right now. I'm trying to stretch and podcast at the same time because I got a lot of editing to do later today. So, we're multitasking. We're getting this done. So yeah, I've never wanted to like do this like 3-month preparing for a marathon. And then I woke up that day and I was like, wait, what if I actually just like do it? Because I knew for myself I had to do a marathon at one point in my life. And it was annoying for me that I knew I wanted to do it and I hadn't done it. I'm very much a person that like when I get an idea to do something, I like to just get it done. Just get it over with so that I can move on, so that my mind frees up new energy for the new things that I want to do. And so I know that I am also a very impatient person. Like if I get an idea, I'll do it very fast. But in all areas of my life, I'm pretty impatient. And that's something I'm aware of can be a negative trait. It's something that I'm working on. But in some cases, it's also a good thing because then, I just get things done that need to get done. Because I don't have the patience to not. So I woke up that morning and I was like, what if I just did it? And some of the things, I had 2 fears. And I think that with anything, I'm thinking while you're listening to this, maybe there is something that that you want to do at one point in your life that you haven't done yet. And I think that there's a reason usually that we haven't done it yet. And for me, I ask myself, like, what's the fear behind why I haven't done it? And 2 things came up. The first thing that came up was I feel like this is like an insecurity of mine. I feel like because I'm a fitness girl and I am in really great shape, like give me a few weights and I will actually, I was on Beachbody and I was like in a group with guys and like I kept going when they stopped, even if I was like using the same amount of weights. Like give me a pair of weights and I will freaking crush it. But because I don't have runner experience, I knew that my time was not going to be good. And so one of my fears was like, I feel like if I run a marathon, then I have to like beat a certain time because, I should because I'm a fitness girl and like that's what's expected of me. And also it's what I expect of me. Like I don't want to let myself down. So I thought, I asked myself like, okay, what if I just completely ignore the time? And then when I asked myself that, and I thought that, I could actually just completely ignore how long how long it takes. If I just like run at turtle speed, then there's not going to be that pressure on me. So that was the one fear that I had, and I just completely decided, okay, I'm not gonna look at the time. I'm not gonna share the time with anybody just because that's not really important to me. Like it doesn't matter to me how fast I do it. What matters to me is that I know that I can do it. And so completely let go of that time. And I am hoping that if whatever it is that you want to do, maybe you want to run 5K and the time is something that you're scared of, then just like completely let go of it. Or regardless of whatever goal it is that you want to achieve, ask yourself, what is the fear that is making me not want to do it? It's often like failure or fear of letting someone like get a different image of you or feeling whatever. But really ask yourself, what is the thing that is keeping me away from this? And this helped me a lot. The second fear I had was what I just mentioned, failing. Like, what if I actually can't do this? And then I could ask myself, what if I can't? Then I know that I need to stick to maybe a few months of training towards it. But at least then I know that I tried. And then I can just go back to, like, if I really want to do a marathon, then I can, train up for it. But, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? And failure is, like, it's always failure that makes me stronger. It's always failure that is gonna give us that extra, maybe, yeah, we'll get annoyed at first, but it's also what usually fires up my butt and like makes me want to push through and do more and do better the next time. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll fail, but I'll learn something from it. And so I'm also sharing that because maybe you're afraid of failing, but ask yourself, like, what's the worst thing that can happen if I fail? And usually, most of the time, that thing isn't so bad. Like, it's not. So yeah, those were the two things that I was scared of. And then I decided to not worry about it. I went out, I drove to Santa Monica, and I started running. And actually, it's funny, the first like 6 kilometers was like the hardest. I think, like, just warming my body up and being like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna run like 42 kilometers right now. That sounds crazy. But then I kept going, and when I don't know how many kilometers I was in. I'm actually about to edit the YouTube video after this podcast later today. Maybe when I was like 10 kilometers in or something, I decided to make a Instagram story to share that, hey, I was doing it. And then that kind of was like a motivator for me. Okay, now I'm sharing with people that I'm trying to do this. So what if I actually can? Like, think of how I could inspire others to maybe help them try something that they had been scared of doing as well. And I, when I was halfway through, I was like so happy because I was nervous that my knee and my hips were gonna hurt and like make me have to stop. And halfway through, yeah, I could feel it, but it wasn't like that big of a struggle. I was like, okay, I'm doing this. And then I ended up finishing, and the last 4 kilometers or 5 or something, they were definitely challenging, but I did it, and it was not even close to as hard as I had made it up in my mind. Or how can I say it? I think what I mean to say is that the fear I had of running a marathon was way worse than actually doing it. And I think that it is like that with everything in life, right? The fear we have towards doing something is always so far greater than actually doing it. So if we just go do it, like right now, when we get the urge, when we get the instinct to do it, like, the fear goes away. Once we've done something we were scared of, either like the fear goes away, and then either we can decide that we want to do it again, or we can decide to not want to do it again. And either one's fine, but then at least the fear goes away, and then it makes us stronger as humans, that we can do other things that we're scared of that maybe previously we thought we couldn't. And I just think that's so cool, because then eventually we become these like unstoppable humans that can do whatever we want to do, that whatever we put our mind to. And of course, there's never ending things that we can be scared of, but I think that the fear gets less and less. And that's also my whole point of this like 30-day video challenge that I'm doing, of every day doing something that I've never done before, is that I hope that it's gonna help me grow and gain new perspective. But what it really right now is doing is making me have so much fun, having such fun experiences and trying out new things that I'd never tried before. And even if that's all I get from it, then I'll be happy, because I'm also just learning like new editing skills and ways to make turn a day into a story, turn an event into a story, which is something that I'm very passionate about, because that's obviously what I do for work, doing YouTube. So that's really, really fun. I also just want to mention that, talking about like making a story, I have been doing a lot of courses, YouTube courses, in getting better. Even though this is like, I actually, when I share that with people that I'm like in a YouTube course, they'll be surprised, because it's, I do this for a living, and it's what I do for work. But I think it's important to continuously get better within the scale of the field that we work within, there's always going to be someone better than us that can help us grow. And so that's something that I'm constantly investing into. And even though I may just learn like 2% out of, like, let's say I listen to an hour of someone talking about, I don't know, storytelling, just because that's what we were talking about right before, then if I just learned, like, if they just say 1% something new that they had, that I never heard before, then that makes my craft 1% better. And if we just get 1% better every day or every week, then we will eventually become, so much better, rather than just continuously doing the same thing over and over and over again. So just wanted to mention that. I don't know if you have a dream or a goal or something that you want to get better at, that maybe you want to, in the new year, or maybe in December, or right today, want to sign up for a course to get better at that thing. Because, things get more fun when we're growing within it, when we're learning new things. Yes, it's easier, sometimes nicer to just stay comfortable, but I don't think long term it's as fun. And I don't think long term we're going to get as far with it as if when we're evolving and growing within it. Okay, I need to eat some food. I had a quick apple before this podcast, but that is not going to be enough for me today after running this half marathon. I believe I did share that, like, running this half marathon today was so much easier than, like, I don't even, just like, it was easier than sometimes when I run like 10K because it's like not so long ago that I ran a marathon. Then, like, if I had like 5K left of this half marathon, it's like, oh, easy, piece of cake, because I just had to run way further. And that's just like such a great reminder that when we do something extremely crazy, or at least in my mind doing the marathon was a little crazy, then the other things that we do are just so much simpler. I feel like at this point I'm just rambling, but I hope that you found something I said in today's episode a little bit useful. I'm so grateful that you are here, willing to listen. If you found it useful, please share it with a friend. And consider subscribing and writing a review. That helps me so much. And other than that, I hope you have a beautiful day. And remember that in order for you to grow, you have to challenge your norm. Bye.